Welcome back. Let's talk about making an offer. It's not like you can pick up your home, take it to a cash register, and say, I want to buy this home, here's my money. You've already talked to your lender, so you know what you can afford. Let's talk about the price. How do you come up with how much to offer? You and your agent need to look at the comparables, look at what has sold in the neighborhood, and compare like to like, similar size, similar style, similar insides and updates and upgrades to it to figure out what is a good market value for the home. And then you need to decide, is that what you want to pay for it? Because really, market value is what somebody is willing to pay for it. You might want to pay less. You might be willing to pay more. Depends on the home. So you really have to do your research and look at what's happening in the market so you can make an informed decision. Because if you're going to be in competition with other buyers, you want to make sure that you are offering the best for you. Somebody may be willing to offer more, but you want to do what you're comfortable with, where you're happy if you get the house, but you're okay if you don't, because that was all you're willing to pay for it. Does that make sense? Sometimes you'll need to do an escalation, and that's where you're willing to pay more for a home than what you're offering, but you want to put a cap on that because you only want to go up so high, and you'll say how high over the next offer, the next highest offer you're willing to go. So, quick example, if you offer 500 but you're willing to pay 550, and to get there you're willing to go $5,000 over the next highest offer. So another offer comes in at 500, there's your offer at 500, yours jumps up to 505 because your factor is that 5,000. But they also have an escalation. So then theirs jumps up to 510. Then yours would jump up to 515. And they would keep jumping over each other until somebody hits their cap and somebody goes up a little bit higher. So that is how an escalation works. You don't always need an escalation. Sometimes you could just say, I'm willing to pay this for the house, and that's it. And that's my highest and best offer. You have to determine what you want to do, what is comfortable to you. Another thing that goes into an offer, and we talked about this with buyer agency, is your buyer agent compensation, because you want to ask the seller to pay that for you. Typically, you're asking for what your buyer agency agreement says. So whatever number's in there, that is the number you're going to put on this addendum to include with your offer. You're going to have in your offer as well a settlement date. Typical settlement date is 30 days from contract to close. Some lenders need a little bit longer, so it might be 45 to 60, but most lenders can do it in 30 days, and some can do it in less. So that's a date that you want to work out with what's good for you. Typically, it's a weekday during business hours, no holidays, no weekends. Sometimes the seller has a particular date that they want to close. So it's good to have that information when you're making your offer so you can be as competitive as possible to give the seller what they want, but also getting what you want. You want to put in there what settlement or title company that you want to use. We're going to talk to a settlement company in a little bit, but that is also a piece of the contract because they are going to do a lot of work, not on your behalf, not on the seller's behalf, but on behalf of the contract, because that's who they work for here in Maryland. Also, part of a contract is an earnest money deposit, or EMD. This is a chunk of money that the title company is going to hold for you, and you credit it, and they will credit it back to you at settlement. So it's not money that is just thrown out there. It's money that's held for you. Typical amount is minimum 1% of the sales price. But you may want to offer more. because the more you're willing to have somebody hold on your behalf shows you're really interested, and you're not going to just default and walk away because they're holding a chunk of your money. So if they're holding $10,000, that's $10,000 you've already given them that's credited towards your closing costs and your down payment. Another part of the contract is what kind of inspections you're going to have. We're going to talk about them in a little bit, and we're going to talk to a home inspector. But there's all different kinds of inspections you may or may not need. But this is part of a contract, and you have to specify how quickly you're going to get your inspections done, because typical is no more than 7 days, but maybe you can get them done in less, 5 days or 3 days. Do you want a home warranty as part of this offer? Do you want the seller to buy it? Do you want to buy your own? Do you not need one or care? Part of it is also the appraisal. That is going to be part of your financing contingency, but when you're in a competitive situation, you may be willing to say, all right, if the home doesn't appraise because we've escalated it up so far above market value, I want to buy the house, but if it doesn't appraise, I'll pay a set amount of X over the appraised value, because your loan is going to be based on the appraised value. So if you are doing 5% down payment and the property doesn't appraise, your 5% is going to be based on the appraised value, not the contract price. So some say, all right, I still want it. I'm going to pay this much over. And then it gives them a sense of comfort knowing they're going to get the house no matter what. And it gives the seller a sense of comfort that even if the property doesn't appraise, we're still going to move forward with the sale with this much over. There are other opportunities for your appraisal as to, do you want it in fully as part of your financing contingency? Or do you have enough money stuffed in the mattress or in the bank where it doesn't matter what it appraises at, you're going to buy it no matter what? Or maybe your lender can waive it totally because you're putting more than 20% down. There's a lot of different options when it comes to appraisal. And I'm going to back up about the inspections, because there's some differences with the inspection too, as to, do you want to be able to ask for repairs? Do you want to just have the right to walk away? Do you want to have both? Maybe you don't want an inspection at all. Maybe you want to do an inspection before you even make an offer. Different opportunities or options and things you can do to make your offer stronger if you're in competition, or if you're not in competition, make what I call a normal offer in a normal market. So that kind of touched on what goes into an offer. There is a lot of questions I'm sure that have jumped into your mind. Make sure that you talk to me about it, or the agent that you're going to work with, which should be me, and we can answer all these questions. But this touched on almost everything that you need to know about writing an offer.